Support for Radio Friends comes from Home Instead Senior Care, providing trustworthy, kind-hearted senior home care services in your loved one's home. All caregivers are thoroughly screened, extensively trained, professional, and reliable. Home Instead is all about providing the highest quality home care service to fit you and your family's needs. Plus, if you would be interested in becoming a caregiver, they offer great part-time positions. Give them a call at 573-442-4333 or check it out at homeinstead.com. Good morning and welcome to Radio Friends on Thursday, January the 18th. Pleasure to have you with us today. We have a couple of authors and an illustrator with us today. Let me introduce you to Christine J. Gilbert. Good to have you here, Christine.
Thank you for having me.
Author of, how many books have you written now?
5.
5 books. And she just started in 2012. So you're going to town with this. And then David Harris. Pleasure to have you, David. You actually illustrated one of Christine's books, and you have you're working on a book of your own.
That is correct.
Correct? All right. Let's start, first of all, with the series of books that you wrote, Christine, called Super Grandma and Super Grandpa, The Unknown Heroes, Book 1, 2, and 3. Tell me about these.
Well, in book 1, the whole story has a lot of action. And Super Grandma and Super Grandpa, they both own schools, and they teach safety and awareness to children.
Mm-hmm.
In the action events, the first mystery is stranger danger, and then I educate cyberbullying, bullying, stop, drop, and roll, and more. And when we educate our children, we have to have fun, right?
Right.
Okay, so they have super magical powers.
The Super Grandma and Super Grandpas have the super magical powers.
Yes,
Okay.
and they may have been handed down to the grandchildren.
Oh, do we find this out in the book?
You just might.
Okay, so that's book number 1.
That's book number 1. So they were handed down to the grandchildren.
Uh-huh.
And so book 2 came out.
And then what happened in book 2?
In book 2, on book 1, do you see the cats? That's Bugger and Sassy.
Uh-huh.
They might have powers.
Okay.
So on the cover of book 2, we have Super Grandma, Super Grandpa, 2 of the grandchildren, and the 2 cats.
Wow. So this is like a mini-series that just continues and continues.
Yes, and all the action events, there's an airplane, a crane, a boat that's sinking, a building on fire.
Mm-hmm.
Super magical powers were used, but the ones that were using them didn't know it was them.
Okay. And then in book number 3...
So will they find out that they have the powers?
And we're going to find out about
grandchildren.
that in book number 3.
Yes, so
Now,
book 3 came out.
Are these children's books, or do you find that adults are getting into these books also?
And that's a real good question, because I have parents, grandparents, and children that are loving the story.
Yeah, I can imagine. So now, David Harris, you did the illustrations in book number 3, right?
Yes.
The other books do not have illustrations in them.
No, they do not.
But you've got, how many did you do for book 3?
I did one. I did the cover illustrations, and I did 1 illustration per chapter. So that was about 10 illustrations altogether. 10.
Yeah. Okay. Is that difficult to do?
Not really. No. The hardest part is coming up with the characters, coming up with the style, how it is you're wanting to do, and then once there's back and forth with the author and accepting what it is that we both want, then it's just a matter of getting them all out there.
Was there ever a problem with you coming up with what somebody looked like, and Christine said, "Oh, they don't look like that"?
Every now and again, there's character concept.
Yeah.
The author creates something, and in their mind, they know what it is they want.
Right.
And so they try and express that to somebody. But since I'm not that same person, I come up in my mind with how it is.
Right.
So when I get that illustration out there, then she sees that, she tells me what they need to look like, the proper way that they should look, and then it is up to me to incorporate that.
And it all worked out well.
It did. It took a lot of work.
Oh, I can
back and
imagine.
forth.
I can imagine. 5 books since 2012. That's really churning them out there. It's almost like a daytime soap opera, too.
Well, I missed 1 year,
Okay.
2014.
Well, why in
It was
2014?
a lot of family going on, a lot of family.
Yeah, so you didn't
So
write the-
I didn't have one published in
Okay.
2014.
And you're self-published, aren't you?
Yes.
All right. And then you've written, now this is an adult book. What is this one?
This is Manipulated into Fear. There is always a pattern.
Okay.
And the sequel to it is White Roses in a Dream, Traits, Patterns, and Action Plans. I have received 5-star forward clearing reviews, which is a huge aha.
Great.
They actually sell their magazine in Barnes & Noble.
Wonderful.
And
Wonderful.
they're very educational also.
Now, if people want any of these books, how do they go about getting them?
They can go to any bookstore online nationwide. So Amazon, Barnes & Noble, Author House. I have a site that I prefer, and you can get an autographed copy with free shipping.
Okay.
I
What
had
is
to
your
compete
site?
with Amazon.
What is your site?
It's Supergrandma and Supergrandpa.com.
Oh, that's easy to remember. Supergrandpa.com. And you can find the books online there, and she'll give you free shipping, too.
That's right.
You're quite a
I'm right
businesswoman.
there with Prime.
Okay. Now, David, tell me about the book you're writing.
So the book I'm writing is a children's book. I wrote it in a way to help me deal with my PTSD when I got out, my separation anxiety. And so I noticed that there was a lot of ways that people were taking advantage of each other when I got back out into the civilian world. And so what it was is it's a children's book about a boy who goes on adventures with his teddy bear, while he sleeps, and he imagines all these things. And the concept is that the bear is teaching the boy the best way to be a best friend, how to be a really good friend.
Yeah.
And they go on many adventures, and then like towards the middle end of the book, the story kind of flips, and the boy starts taking care of the bear. And then at the end of the book, once the child kind of loses his imagination, they have to say goodbye, and that's a whole metaphor for.
It's got to be sad.
Yeah. But in the end, it teaches you to never be sad when you lose a friend, to remember everything that happens. And the book does have a happy ending.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't be sad because it's over. Be happy because you had it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So how do people get your book?
Once it's done, it'll be available through.
So it's not available yet.
Not yet. It's a slow process because I'm doing watercolor paintings for all of the illustrations, and I'm changing them up every now and again because I want them to be the best that it can be.
All right. Well, you come back when it's done, and we'll talk about it then. Okay. Thank you, Christine and David Harris. I appreciate you coming so much today.
Thank you.
And I have to add, we are both veterans, and so he's talking about when he got out of the service, the effects that it had on him, and where he's at now with writing.
All right. Thank you so much for coming. We appreciate it.
Thank you for having us.
Tomorrow's State Historical Society. We're out of time for today. See you then. Bye-bye.